Coach Morrison. Welcome to the program, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, it's our 6th year of doing this. You provided many highlights over those 6 years. But you were telling me as we're coming in here, you've got kind of a young crew. You obviously every coach has players that graduate. Name. Tell me a little bit about the positions.
Guys, obviously, say linebacker. We have a little bit more returning experience at our linebacker level there. We kind of transitioning some younger guys through there. If you look at like same thing really in the receiver room, whether it be our H's or tight ends, X's or Y's. We graduated. Defensive backs are graduated.
Wide receivers.
Yeah, it's a lot of the same guys. When you're at a 2A school like us. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of open spots there. We have seven seniors right now. We're doing a really nice job, and then a whole gob of juniors and sophomores, freshmen that are really kind of trying to fill in there and find their way.
Weight room, all the coaches in the weight room, and I guess my first question, the second question I'm going to ask you is about the weight room. You got a really nice facility there. It's a big part of football. It's not the part that you see on the field, but tell us a little bit about how this weight room has made Minneapolis the winner since they've been over the years.
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, you do see the results on the field without a doubt. We take pride in the fact that we have our students are really lifting all year round during their PE classes. They're getting here and getting a lift in, and then doing other sort of like PE activities that they would do in the fall. And we've been really happy with how kids have improved into trying to get stronger, really taking pride in the weight room. The gains they make, you see them come back and like, man, this looks like a completely different kid as compared to last year. So those are the cool things, that this room in particular provides.
All right. Well, let's start with the quarterback. It sounds
It's just crazy to see the growth and development that he has had from where he was a year ago. Not only physically, but just an understanding of the game and everything else that goes along with it. Case and Fear is a younger guy that was a sophomore this year, at the JV level last year. So both of those two guys, are really outstanding athletes and are able to do a lot of different things on the football. And we've been through really eight practices that we've had so far. The growth that we've seen from day one to last Friday was pretty special.
well. Older, some guys with some experience with wide
Right.
receivers.
Yeah. And the running back, Brock Spear, our backup running back last year, he's done nice year. The balls, Lathan Keller was off to a really good start last year. Unfortunately, had a collarbone injury in week 3, so that kind of derailed his season with that. But he's back. Taylor Miller also was another returning letter winner, and Xander Johnson are guys, and Logan Gerson. I'm sure I'm going to forget some people there, but there's a lot of guys that are out there at those positions, and just trying to find ways for us to be creative in how we get the guys, the ball in space. From our tight end position, we had Talon Wright and Wyatt Box. Both of those guys are not probably your traditional tight ends, more in the receiver realm, but they're doing a good job trying to learn a real difficult position, learning what we do in the run game and as far as blocking goes, but also
the defensive line, linebackers, and you fill in some of these spots.
Yeah, I think you look at the defensive line, you kind of with the guys we have returning. Zane Kreft was a guy that was in on a lot of different snaps, offensively and defensively last year. Some other guys, Jaden Miller got some experience in there. Dan Stewart, Kale Lang, guys that were really solid on the JV level. We're expecting big things from them up front, and there's a variety of younger guys that are that we're trying to work into the mix as well there too. A lot of good competition between with those guys. Really kind of feel excited to watch them as they continue to grow. At our linebacker level, Evan Schulte and James Everhart, Talon Wright, Wyatt Box, those 4 guys all played some level of varsity football last year. A few of them were safeties that we're trying to convert to linebackers, but we feel really good about that. then the back end guys, some of the ones that we had mentioned already at the receiver spot are kind of back there. Lucas Egan and Ryan Luna are two other guys that are kind of in that receiver defensive backs mode there. So, there too. I think the big thing for us is trying to figure out, like, okay, we have all these guys. Who's better on what side?
No, we'll keep our fingers crossed for that. So and you got a lot of young players, and I'm going to ask you about some of them young players. But as I'm thinking about over the years, you had a lot of great players. Some like the Green Mile and Chet the Jet Williams that didn't, or
Yeah.
that didn't go on to play college. But you've had some guys that go to play college, and wide receivers and punters and a few other